All right, I'll say. How are you all? This day of your time, right now.
Perfect.
Fine.
Very good.
Thank you. How are you all?
Very good.
Good.
Thank you. All right, we will begin for now with questions. You can be very, very bold.
What shall we call you?
Why? For me, Bashar. What shall we call you?
Derek.
Thank you. Realize, all right, one moment. Realize that your idea of what you turn to be communication between you, having taken, in your terms, vocalization, will represent that when you are willing, in a sense, to live a certain reality, experience a certain frame of mind, be willing to believe in your own convictions, then you will be, in a sense, willing to vocalize, to share among you those innermost dreams, those thoughts, desires that you wish to manifest within your reality. Realize that when you, in a sense, keep to yourself an idea, do not live outwardly, speak outwardly, be outwardly that idea, in a sense, it always remains within what I will call your blueprint stage. If you allow yourself to be, think, speak, breathe, an idea, share, those inner thoughts, feelings, desires, you will be acting out that reality. You will find that no one will be able, in a sense, to invade your thoughts when you wish to keep them to yourselves. This is your choice. Always. You all have free will. You will always find that nothing, in a sense, can happen without your agreement. The agreement of your innermost beliefs will always determine the reality you allow yourselves to experience. Do you all follow me?
Yeah.
Question.
I have a question.
One moment.
Yeah.
Thank you. Then you.
I had a question that I was thinking about for last week's talk, and that was with regard to in your civilization. Somebody had asked about sex, and you said that you basically something like you had sex in generally the same way, but it was different. There were differences as far as mental, something like that. I was just interested in a little bit more detail on what the differences are and how it is with your civilization.
Thank you. First of all, you will find that with regard to what you call the newborn child, we will already understand exactly who and why they are there. Do you follow me?
Yes.
We will have, in a sense, telepathic conversation with that being from before the moment of conception. The idea that that being has chosen its parents and for what reason it wishes to express the reality it is now being born into will all be very, very clear from the moment of even the conception of the idea of the birth. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Therefore, you will find that what you turn to be, in fact, will be already considered to be very well aware when it enters the physical world of its own sense of purpose, and that it has chosen those, as you say, adults, to supply a particular atmosphere of which they are also very well aware in order for that being to fulfill its particular purpose and function and goal. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Thank you. Mostly you will find that simply that will be the main idea difference, in that all choices are very transparent and apparent on the surface. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Question?
You mentioned last week that your people have a resemblance to the American Indian and the Asiatic of this planet, except that the skin coloring is different.
Similar, yes.
And I was wondering if the physical appearance is due to emotional or, like similarities in wavelengths of the philosophies of these two people.
Very good. To a degree, on one level, I will say that is accurate. However, you will find also there will be, in general, from civilization to civilization, slight modifications which you will usually, not always, but usually be able to find within your own civilization to some degree. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
You will find that in your terms, I will say approximately, I say 90% of civilizations you will encounter will be, in your terms, humanoid. You follow me?
Yeah.
This will be the representative idea of an energy which is translated into physical form. There's no accident that you have the form you do. You will find that to be a similar idea on many, many, many of the planets you will encounter.
Okay. What does the American Indian on this planet from the past have a role in, does the American Indian play a role on this planet, a specific role?
Each and every civilization, each and every being on your world plays a specific role within the overall idea of the mass consciousness identity of your planet. You'll find that what you turn to be American Indian will be indicative of that ability to exist within physical and non-physical reality simultaneously as experienced in your day-to-day, as you say, physical life. You'll find that the interaction, as you say, of that culture with your own culture will exemplify that ability of your culture now to explore its non-physical side and the ability of that culture to explore its more physical side and form an integration between the two ideas. You follow me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Question?
You said earlier in your monologue today that there was some negativity in withholding a person's own thoughts.
Not negativity, no. Did not say negativity.
Well, no, that's a summary of what I thought that you said.
Yes.
But what did you say in reference to a person withholding their own thoughts? Is there some negativity connected with that?
Not really, no. Simply that you will find it will be a little bit more difficult for that ideal reality to manifest physically.
Well, isn't that dependent upon the person's own abilities?
It's dependent upon the person's own willingness to be that idea.
But they can be that idea without necessarily showing it.
Allow me to say that any idea that you truly find yourself being equal with will be your reality. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Either that, or it will, in a sense, remain a reality in another level. In this level, what you would term dream reality, non-physical reality. It will be real, yes. Will not be manifest into your physical reality till you allow it to do so.
But if you have an idea and you can make that idea, which is your own illusion, you can make that reality, isn't it wise to project that reality into the environment in a way that may not necessarily be bold and direct, but can be achieved through whatever medium the person desires.
Can we achieve any way they desire? However, simply, what I'm saying is that you do, very boldly, create your reality every moment of time as you have time to exist without giving it a second thought. You have simply created a differentiation between what you think to be your reality and the desire or the idea of desire in creating it. Really, it is so second nature to you, you may not even realize that you had just as intense a desire to create the reality you now experience as any other ideas you may wish to experience. Do you follow me?
Yes, so what you're saying is that the creation of reality is the senior point, and whether you communicate it or not communicate it is just up to you.
You will always create reality. Always. Which reality you wish to create is always up to you.
All right, that's fair.
Very, yes.
Yeah, I still have a question.
All right.
I didn't totally get my question answered before. I was wanting to know more. I understand as far as with the babies go. That clarified that more, but I wanted to know more with regards to your love relationship.
All right. First of all, realize that when, in your terms, you say your questions are not totally answered, that allows you the opportunity to answer them yourselves.
Yeah.
Always, we will give you that opportunity, for we will never run your lives. This is your world, your reality. You are equally a creator to every consciousness within the universe, and as such contain all the information you need for your own reality. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
All right. You will find, first of all, that while there will be, in your terms, association between beings of our civilization with what you may term to be immediate family, you will find that our idea of ourselves will be such that each and every member of our, what you term to be, society, will truly feel. Now, not exactly your term, but similar. There is no other translation for now. Married to every other member of the society. Do you follow me? Mm-hmm. You will find there will be differences in attraction, yes. However, you will always, once again, find that purposes for attraction will be very transparent. Do you follow me?
Yes.
There will be interaction between beings. When purpose is recognized, there will always already be the love. Do you follow me? Always already be that love. Unconditional. Do you follow me? Question.
Why are you here?
One reason is because your identity consciousness at this time allows us to be here. You will find that when our viewpoint of you allows your viewpoint of yourself to expand into your own sense of creatorhood and equality, you will enrich the overall identity of all that is to a great degree, and in so enriching all that is, allows us to expand ourselves even further creatively. In your terms, that is what we get out of it. You will find also that you have a desire to meet with our civilizations, but though there are, in a sense, a few physical, face-to-face, as you say, contacts going on, you will find that en masse, until you consider yourselves to be equal to yourselves, within yourselves, and to every other idea in the universe, we will not meet you until we meet you as equals. We do not wish to meet you when you consider yourself to be less or greater. Thank you. Question.
I have a question. When you talk about people asking questions and things like that, you usually say, well, find out for yourself. And all through history, there's beings that came down, maybe through Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha, that laid certain paths out that work to a degree for people. Question is this: if you tell us things that are out of our reality about different people on different planets, etc., but when someone asks you a direct question on a path or methodology to go free on this planet, you say, well, you'll find out for yourself. And yet other teachers have come down and shown paths.
Well, how would you say, first of all, that none of those teachers showed you a path other than a general idea that you also had the same ability to be like those individuals? Realize very few individuals upon your planet have taken the path they indicated. Realize that when you allow yourselves to know that you are identically equal to those beings, then you will be living the path which they lived. Until then, you will have what you term to be religion, which is only the following of an idea and not the doing of an idea. Do you follow me?
I follow you to the extent that they did lay out a methodology to get not to anywhere, but sort of showing you how to get on a path. And they were sort of advanced to the Homo sapiens that were around at that time.
One moment. One of the ideas that allows you to continue to separate yourself from them is the idea that they are more advanced. All consciousness is equal. Realize that one of the ideas, which many of you also did not get, that they were trying to show you, is that they were a direct product of the consciousness of your planet. But always, you have allowed yourselves to continue to project the idea of greatness away from yourselves. Now, therefore, 'tis your desire to understand yourselves in that light, and so you have allowed us to provide for you that function. You have been, in a sense, as you say, shown a reflection of yourselves. Now, you, as a mass consciousness, to a greater degree, simply are asking for assistance in allowing yourselves to know that, not to be told how to live, but to be told that you already know how to live. We are only here to remind you of that which you already know. Your ideas of advancement are really only ideas of maintaining the idea of distance between us, separation between us. And as long as that idea exists, you will always consider yourselves to be the student and not the teacher. Do you follow me?
Gotcha.
Thank you very much. Question.
I have a question.
All right.
From your point of view, is there such a thing like as a divine plan for the evolution of souls as part of the all that's all? Or is each new moment of creation a fresh creation into a void?
Right, here it comes. I'm straight. You may not really like this one. First of all, allow me in your terms to preface. Any time which you begin to sense within your physical here and now life the idea of paradox, you will find yourself dealing with higher consciousness, which is in a sense extended beyond your physical dimensionality. And so my answer to you is both. Do you follow me?
That's what I assumed it was.
Thank you.
I was hoping it would be one of the
You will find that when you projected yourselves into physical reality, the idea, in very real terms, of physical reality in and of itself, was created by creating the idea of polarity. Realize that in non-physical reality, polarity, for the most part, vanishes. All ideas are seen to be equal and coexistent. only one of the earmarks of physical reality is that there can be an idea exclusive of its opposite. Now, in your math consciousness, beginning to understand that each idea is also its own opposite, that the act and reaction are the same act, that the end is the means and the means is the end, one and the same idea. And so you will find that there is, in a sense, as you say, a plan, and that plan contains spontaneity. Do you follow me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Question.
I have a question. You said that we all play a role. I'm quite aware of the role that I'm playing.
Have you no feelings at all of your role?
I have no.
Have you no feelings about your own role?
Yes, I do.
Do you feel they are accurate?
Well, obviously they are accurate, but
Thank you. One moment. You could not have said that better if you had tried. Obviously, your feelings about your own life are accurate, since you have created everything within it. Realize, once again, that you always are creating for yourself reflections, guides, aids, and assistance as you feel you need them. But those ideas are only created, in a sense, or initiated by outside consciousness as you truly feel you need them. However, again, quite paradoxically, each and every one of those assists, guides, aids to you, though they may assist you, will always assist you in knowing that you are still obviously accurate in your feeling about your own path, about your own purpose. Allow me to say simply, it is not very complex. Whatever excites you, whatever areas of imagination excite you the most, make you feel most creative, are for you exactly where you need to be. Only when you, in a sense, judge yourself against the idea of other realities, do you ever slow yourself down from assuming that what excites you is a viable reality? Do you follow me? Therefore, you might find simply that any purpose which, in your terms, lights you up, and really, I'll say that is quite literal, lights you up, you will find that to be your centering, you will find at that moment you are on your path. You will know at each and every moment, as long as you allow yourself to know that happiness is not an idea which needs to end if you do not wish it to do so. Your entire life can be one moment of eternal ecstasy. Do you follow me?
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Question.
I have a question.
All right.
There was a guy in New York who, I think his name was Son of Sam, who was around killing people saying God told him to do it. I'd like to know who assisted him in his reality.
Sam told him to do it.
Sam told him.
That was the dog of the neighbor's dog.
I know about that, man. I'm from New York.
Thank you.
Whatever. I'd like to know, like, you mean to say that somebody actually assisted him, talked through him, and helped him?
Yes, a self-created consciousness, separated from himself, by himself, so that he would not feel responsible. Do you follow me?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It is very simple. It's done all the time.
What I'm saying is, what I'm really getting at is there are people who have mental problems who hear voices, etc., etc. Sometimes the voices are depressing, sometimes they're exhilarating. The ones exhilarating from other planets and the ones depressing is what you say
Not
are
always.
self-created?
No. You are a creator. You are the creator. That implies everything that it sounds like it implies. You can create for yourself any form of reality and reflect it back to yourself, if you wish, as a seemingly outside reality, positive and negative.
I understand that, but you just told this young lady here that there are beings that would help her if she needed help.
Yes, but the only help will simply be in allowing that being to recognize their own abilities.
Okay, so there are no beings out there.
In a sense, there are. In a sense, there are not. Depends upon what level you wish to view it from. Recognize that you do. Recognize separation of consciousness between, as you say, you and each other individual within here and now the room. However, from one level, freely, if you wish to, you can view this entire room as one identity. It is up to you where you wish to choose the viewpoint. It will reflect your idea about yourself and the reality you are creating for yourself. As to which level you wish to view yourself from. Realize that all individuals, all consciousness within the multiverse are simply all the different ways that all that it has of viewing itself. Do you follow me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I got a question.
All right.
See, I see you as kind of giving information to people, establish a more sense of self-confidence. But one of the things that you said is that people, can make their own reality. If that's true, then they don't necessarily need data from other people. Whatever data that you find to be true, they could make that data not true if they wanted to, according to what you're saying.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Always you have free will. Always you are the creator. Always.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. It's very, very simple, is it not?
Sure is.
Thank you. When you realize it is that simple, when you allow yourself to realize everything is that simple, then you will be equal to every idea. Question.
You guys party animals up there? No, man, I don't know if I want to be your friend or not,
All right. Only to a degree, not in the same way.
I can understand that. We all have our own way of enjoying life, right?
Very good.
All right.
Thank you. Question.
No question.
Also, for us, it is always a joy to interact with yourself. Thank you. Realize that when you allow yourselves, as we have said, to straighten out your exclamations from questions, you can always feel free to share statements as well. That is when you will be viewing yourself as equals. All right.
I understand from Federline that you have answers to
So do you. I understand that from a friend of mine. All right, go ahead.
You made me afraid to ask now.
What? Allow me to say, I have done nothing to make you afraid.
Feeling ridiculous.
There is no such thing. Everything is valid. Everything. Thank you. You may make a statement if you wish.
Well, all right, I'll make that later.
Right?
How about what?
You'll find that to a great degree, you specifically will require what is termed to be flushing. You will need to pass through your system very pure quantities of what I will term to be juice of your fruit you call cranberry. You follow me?
Yeah.
You will find that you are simply forming for yourself blockages based on your own interpretation of your relationship to your physical universe, you can simply allow yourself to ease yourself from your dis-ease. Follow that, dis-ease.
Yeah.
Simply allow yourself also to view that your physical form is a reflection, a direct interpretation of your soul form. Once again, not really is there a separation between the two ideas. Allow yourself to understand your physical form, particularly with regard to that area, or say, as you term it, chakra. You may simply allow yourself to infuse also your entire physical form through that energy point with the idea of very, very healing, I'll say, green energy. You follow me? Allow yourself to identify that healing green energy with the same vibration as you say of your internal organ. Simply allow yourself to understand that your internal organ exists at that level of vibration and can assimilate and act as a, I'll say, meshing of gears between that energy and all other organs in your system. Each organ, each energy point in your system will be found to identify with a different vibratory rate, which you will associate with a different tone and a different color. You find simply that you may introduce the idea of pure flowing ideas, pure flowing energy, pure flowing fluid throughout your system in general. Also, allow yourself to ingest more of your water, purified. For now, I'll say 3 to 5 of your glasses a day. You follow me? Also, simply allow yourself anytime you desire to feel that you can relax within warm, not hot, warm water, your entire body, allowing that warmth to penetrate. Also, you will find that to some degree you are missing what I will say to be a small degree of certain types of mineral salts within your system. You may use little bit, zinc, tiny bit fluctuation between what you term to be your potassium level, up and down. Allow yourself to feel, more than simply by compulsion, what you really wish to consume. Thank you. Question.
I'd like to say something.
All right.
First off, I'm not a easy believer, but let me say that I had some liver problems, and the guy sounds pretty cool. Now, one of the things I've noticed is that you seem very easy at communicating of information or about things. Basically, have a vast body of knowledge, or do you permeate a situation and have an ability based on your ability to permeate? Or how do you come to such an easy way of finding out answers?
It is called, in your language, trust. Trust that you are a part of all that is, and that all information exists within and is created by all that is, and that portion of your own viewpoint of yourself can very easily tune in to that idea of being able to know what you need to know.
Yeah, but I mean, so in other words, you do permeate a situation and you get you don't actually know beforehand.
There are times, in terms of your time, as you know time to exist, when certain ideas are sent, as you say, beforehand. However, realize our sense of time mentally differs from yours. We view your idea of the past and the future as simply ideas which are projected forward and backward from the present. All time, in a sense, is all right here and right now. Every idea overlaps simultaneously as you know time to exist. Did you follow me?
I do.
All right, therefore, you will find that you can, in very much the same way as you tune your, I'll say, radio system, while at the same time you still know that all wavelengths are there to be tuned into. You can be selective. Do you follow me?
I think you're becoming clearer, yes.
Thank you. You will find that once you simply allow yourself to tap into the idea that all those potentials exist already here and now, you can simply allow yourself to know that what you term to be imagination is not, in your terms, imaginary.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that you as a being from your civilization, whether you personally or the beings who are equal to you from your civilization, have a very strong ability to know, but it's not absolute. In other words, from that position, you are able to know more things with ease.
It's never absolute. There always needs to be agreement between communicating individuals. Only to a degree. Realize that we cannot and are not and never will be mentally invasive. When an individual wishes, truly believes that they wish to shield themselves from communication, in a sense they can do so, although the idea that they are doing so will be perceived. Why, I may have some more answers later. Thank you. Question?
I have a question. In around 19, I was approached by one evening in summer.
Yes, you had an idea. Oh! All right, allow me to say first, how did it make you feel? More connected to yourself or more fearful of yourself?
Well, there was definitely, and I was pretty frightened for a while, but I knew that they knew something about me. I knew that they knew where I was.
All right. Allow me to say, you will find, for now, more information if you allow yourself simply to ease into the idea of exploring any information you may lead yourself to with regard to being, you will say, stem from the area that you refer to as the reticulum. Do you follow me?
No, I don't know. I'm not familiar with
Become familiar.
Become familiar.
Yes.
Okay.
You will allow yourself by becoming familiar with all information regarding, I'll say, UFO, in your terms, contact, that you can find with that name, Zeta Reticulum. Yes.
Okay.
You will begin to feel, first of all, the essence behind the idea of contact. You will begin to allow yourself to ease the fear within yourself of yourself, and will allow yourself to explore the reasons which will blossom. You follow me?
I think so.
Thank you. We will speak again of that idea.
I'd like to
By all means.
my son's birthday is February 22nd. Bought a star for him in Orion. I wanted to let you know that I did buy one and bought one in Orion.
Do you wish us to begin paying him rent? No, he's all right. We will be honored to have his name. Thank you. Very nice name for a star.
And it's a point of interest.
You also realize that in terms of what you term to be the mathematics of the situation is also very appealing to us. Do you follow me?
I hope so. I don't mean by the mathematics.
2. What is your son's birthday, did you say?
February 22nd.
2. You will find that the idea of 6 will be the expression for us of the two triads linking. What you term to be the idea in your literature of, as you say, heaven on earth. The upward triangles linking with the lower triangle, which is the expression symbolically of your Star of David. Heaven linking with earth. Between two triads. Your future self, your present self merging. Do you follow me?
Yes, I do.
And so you will find that there is no accident in, I'll say, establishing a signpost for your son, which will lead him to the stars. You follow me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much for being so creative. In very many ways, he will find that there will be many stars with which he will be able to truly feel at home. Okay, thank you. Question?
I have a question.
Okay.
I like the formula you gave that girl for her liver. In a way,
First of all, you will find that in very many ways your science now understands methods of accomplishing this idea. However, you will find that in your terms would be in a way, in your terms, simpler between Mercury, as there is only one protonic difference between Mercury and what you term to be gold, whereas iron is further away upon your scale of elements. Do you follow me?
Yes. How do I make...
Repeat the vibration. The vibration. The vibration.
The vibration
Of abundance.
of abundance.
Is equal. Why? That as soon as you are, how your vibration of abundance is equal to your own, it will be. You do not have to worry about the how. You are an automatic creator. You need only the end self-image of already being there, which is the same as being equal to that idea. Otherwise, if you focus on only one method, you will close all the other doors through which it may have potentially emerged. Therefore, simply understand that the vibration of any idea you will your own, and it will be so. Breathe, do, act, realize that as long as you consider an idea to be something in the future, it will stay in the future, not be in the present. Trying is not doing. Working towards is always maintaining the distance. You will add one rung, that's it. And you are already standing above it. All right, thank you. We will take a short break. Thank you. Lovely. Say, first of all, that so into you, as we have said, possessing the idea as a creator of free will. You find that I will say your terms in general, your mass conscious reality of your planet has been chosen to allow itself to recognize certain portions of its identity with regard to its overall sense of self, and with respect to its own identity in relationship to a consciousness identity which you have termed other. civilization. That more and more you will allow form ideas and integrate them. Overall reality experience which will create, will then manifest physically to occur on a more natural basis. I'll say take the mystery. Out of mystery is maintained. Nations will usually contact. You follow me? Physics. What I will call a God object allows you to be object. No, I won't give you that answer if you just derogatory. There was, from your planet, scientific terminology to a degree. You feel. So, for yourself, you are creating that there are terminologies existing mentioned from you. Once again, simply, visualize will be easier. Feel and picture a smooth field of energy. That field of energy pulls, in a sense, I'll say, of particles of energy which vibrate at a particular rate.
Vibrating meaning moving back and forth in a particular direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Simply allow yourself to imagine that a small pocket within that enormous energy field begins to bend. You may simply understand that that area vibrating at a different rate, I'll say, if you wish, a slower, is what you allow yourself to perceive as a physical object because of the exact physics idea or physical object.
That's good, thanks. You answered my question. You take the word help and help
Speaking would be a
In a sense, realize that the connection, as you call it, that is made between telepathic transmission is both individuals operate at the same.
So then the word having understand exactly what you're trying to
Why, however, that again, you need not be concerned with desire. The final intent will create all the variations within the vibration necessary to impart that idea, and also, do not forget, that idea will become your physical reality. Question.
that question. Vibration that we're talking about, is this particle controlled? In other words, frequency or it's
Realize that there really is no space, there really is no time, there really is nothing vibrating. It is only a concept. It is the only way to explain the idea in physical terms. Do not make too much of it. Simply understand that it is only a viewpoint of all that is. Realize,
real, that's not just a concept.
one moment, realize you are making separations once again between what you feel to be, I'll say, in your terms, quote unquote, real and what is unreal. What is real to you is only that accept as real. Besides that, when you create the idea, as you think of your oscilloscope, you are creating another symbol, idea, which has no more and no less physical reality than anything else, which you use simply to reinforce your own belief about how something should be.
Create some energy in that direction, that's going to help you on that particular area. Why vibration? Why use that concept? Why not just say, listen, smile at it, you know?
All right. You may do that as well. Simply, many individuals in your here and now mass reality relate more clearly to the idea of vibration. That is why that idea is being used to identify more often than not. Now realize that for many individuals, if I were to simply say, be health, be abundance, they would say, well, how do I do that? And so there is the invention of the idea of the stimulation of vibration to explain to them how to do that. In terms they can realize that in our society, it is a matter of we already understand how.
But when you say that it's not really real, my understanding is possible to say that the basis of it is a concept, but it can have the appearance.
All concepts are real. Not all concepts are manifested into physical reality. But they are nonetheless real.
But a physical reality such as the vibration is real.
All is real. Real to you is being restricted to what you consider to be physicalness. Imagination, as I said before, is real, not imaginary. It's simply operating in a different level of reality.
Well, that's what you said earlier, that vibration is not concept.
All right, you are complicating it again. You understand that when we speak of the idea, only an idea, we simply refer to that idea that you are the creator and you are the source. And at that point, which really has no point, everything simply and is only, in a sense, a concept, but at the same time is real. Allow me to remind you that we have said that in physical reality you will always find that these concepts, these paradoxical or seemingly paradoxical ideas, will always exist at the same time, where it will be, in a sense, real and at the same time not really real. Everything you wish to experience is real. And yet, you can always understand that since you have created it, even what you term to be physical objects, it is all only a matter of viewpoint at the same time.
Now, I understand. May I ask you another question on
Yes,
this subject?
by all means.
Okay. Let's talk about the spectrum of, you're talking about a vibration. Now, you said that you use, because it's a very acceptable word, but at the same time, there can be perceived and measured.
Because you have accepted the idea. And only because you have accepted the idea. Realize there are realities which have no way to measure those vibrations because they do far and away from anything they may do to measure them.
The word vibration, you use it in a creative sense. In other words, it's almost like an art form to you. You are not talking about it in exact United States physical study.
Right, if you wish, yes, that will make it clearer. Although there is always the reference to what you term to be the technical aspect of vibration, yes, for us it is simply more a matter of being. And in that term, yes, art, if you wish.
But I want to know the gimmick behind the vibration. What I mean by gimmick is why is it that a vibration works?
Because that is your reality. Question. How do you... If I found a way, I've learned to address you on a very broad of people, all people here. What tools? How do you address that consciousness in spelling the tools psychology?
Thank you. First of all, realize that a tool, once again, is simply the extension of the personality of that individual using those tools. Our, as you say, tool is simply the recognition that the idea that there is separation between what you term to be outwardly physical consciousness, subconsciousness, unconsciousness, hyperconsciousness, mass consciousness, and so on, is only an idea. Separation between the forms of consciousness to us is only an idea. We can understand when it is imposed, and at the same time, view the overall idea of consciousness without the separation.
That I do follow that.
All right, we have no need, as he was saying in a sense, for the same type of tool. We simply know, because to us it is part of experience.
Yes, that I understand. What I'm looking at, though, is the actual reality that...
Once again, your term, actual reality, is all relative. Realize that even within your own society, there are many actual realities. Realize that one of these ideas, which makes itself to you most obvious, is what you term insanity. Those individuals are perceiving real realities different from your own. However, they also, for the most part, unless they have been able to incorporate that idea as well, for the most part, also include the belief that they cannot communicate their experience back to this reality, and so cut themselves off, and so you perceive them to be unable to do so. Their reality is still as real as yours.
Right. I understand that.
Right.
What I'm looking at, and I'm not looking at it from your point, I'm looking at it as something that...
All right, that is very simple. Simply allow yourself to know that the more you allow each and every portion of your own internal identity to be integrated, the more you allow each portion of your personality to be equal to every other portion and not shunted aside as one portion being less worthy than another, or being unneeded, or being without purpose, then the quicker you will allow your own personal identity to become integrated, and as such, the quicker, in a sense, you will be allowing the overall mass identity to understand that it can then integrate within itself a complete integrated portion of its personality. It all starts and ends with you. Simply allow yourself to be the most completely aware of yourself that you can be, and you will do everything you possibly can, in a sense, to add to the overall idea of mass consciousness. Question?
Yes, this they have, I don't know, maybe you can tell me.
Do you mean within this channeling here and now of your present time?
Well, how you got to, first off, I don't know how far away it is, this is the place that you came from.
Approximately, in your terms, 500 of your life years.
So, like, was it just like a matter of a few seconds for you to be able to come, have to do some long-term traveling, or what?
There is no traveling, no. You'll find, once again, as you say, our spacecraft will, in a sense, we understand the universe, in your terms, to be. Do you understand the term hologramic?
No, I don't understand.
All right. Understand that. That simply means that the potential for any object to exist exists equally at every point in the universe. The potential. Therefore, to us, since there is no space and there is no time, not really, to us the idea of location is not, as you view it, that an object exists within a space. No. To us the idea of location is that location, what you call location, is a property of the object itself. Therefore you have, I'll say, two identical objects, identical in every way that you can measure them. They will still be different in one way. They occupy different locations. If you have location and object A, location and object B in your terms, if you are able, in a sense, to take object A, shield it from the idea of existing within physical reality for a moment, and while it is, in your terms, in neutral existence, replace location A with location B, then when you, in a sense, in your terms, re-engage the object into normal existence, it will, of necessity, need to exist at location B, since that is now its new property. And so it will appear to have disappeared from location A and simply instantaneously reappeared at location B, though no real traveling was involved. It was, in a sense, simply taken into limbo, into neutral, and reoriented. That is how we navigate. Simple reorientation of idea of placement within the overall multiverse, and then reinstating the craft back into what you call normal space and simply being there.
Okay, but you are, I understand that, thank you. But
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're talking to the medium of this guy wearing sweatshirt number 32. Now, what I want to know is you know, your relationship to him. In other words, is that you went through a space change and now you are free physically to be able to talk to him. Is that correct?
I am simply, in a sense, telepathically in contact to a greater or lesser degree as you understand that concept. I am still within my physical form. At this time, I am nowhere near your physical planet.
Yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to know.
The idea
Where are you?
of telepathy.
Where is your physical form, your spaceship, all that stuff?
It is near our planet at this time.
Yes, so I wanted to know is like how you got here.
Telepathy requires no identification with distance.
Okay, so the first part of my question that you answered how you would travel here physically if you were to travel here physically.
Yes.
However, you didn't travel here physically, you traveled here on a spiritual or mental plane or however you know, something like that, and that's how you're here right now. Is that correct?
In a sense. However, realize that, as you say, with regard to the idea of mental or spiritual contact, it is even easier to avoid the idea of distance. There is no such thing as distance in non-physical reality. Anything is right where you are.
I know my mother-in-law's in my space all the time.
Realize that in a very real way, that is true.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm getting there. Oh, you with me, one of the two.
Thank you. Question.
Like it handles for bad eyesight, mine in particular.
Right. Realize simply that this idea and any idea, like any idea, can stem from many, many reasons. However, you will find once again that you have accepted certain ideas of what you term to be strain within your physical organs of sight. Simply, this will be, in a sense, a tension situation. The musculature is under tension, holding your eye out of shape. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
There are techniques of visualization, if you wish, with which you may allow yourself to simply apply soothing energies to those musculatures and allow them to ease their tension. Also, you may simply begin to assume, to a degree, that you can sense in another way whatever you wish to sense. Now, many individuals choose, in those terms, poor eyesight, so as, in a sense, to develop their other senses. Do you follow me? It allows them not to be completely, clearly focused here and now, physically, and serves for them a purpose. To a degree, this is your situation. Thank you. Question.
What is green energy? Is there a color to it?
Once again, you will find that any vibration of energy will have an associated color. Do you realize that color is simply vibration? Yes or no?
No.
All right. Understand what you term to be electromagnetic, in your terms energy, what you call your spectrum of color, is simply the same energy vibrating at different rates of existence. What you term to be red is in those terms a slower vibration than what you term to be orange, which is slower than yellow, which is slower than green, which is slower than blue, which is slower than violet, and so on. Simply, the idea you associate with what you say to be the vibration of green is one which has, for your race in general, a direct affinity to health and peace of mind. Hence the existence of so much of it upon your world, for balance and, as you say, identification with nature. Thank you. Question. Right?
I'd like to know, what do you do with, like, what do you do other than this, like on your planet? What do you do?
You'll find that in your terms I am what you call a pilot and engineer.
Oh. Do you do other things, like do you listen to music or do you dance?
To a degree, yes. You will find also that this, in very many ways, right here and now, is also, in your terms, my job.
Oh.
Also, we are in contact with 3 individuals on 3 planets with which we perform this particular job. Why not? For much of the same reasons that you have chosen to allow us to be here with you. To form and act as reflections, as mirrors for those individuals who wish to begin to understand and identify with those portions of themselves. Thank you. Question?
I have a question.
All right.
Same question.
Okay. I have created a condition. I forgot how I created it. Somehow I created a condition where I magnetize some kind of dense matter to my head, and this occurs around certain beings and in certain places. And I don't know how to reverse the magnetic pole or something, so that doesn't happen. Do you have any thoughts about that?
What do you feel about those beings?
A lot of time I don't even see them. If I try to tune into the
In what form?
It feels like a kind of gooey, black, dead substance.
All right. Feel that there are portions of yourself can, without your acknowledgement, without your agreement, sneak up upon you, cause you discomfort within yourself, attack you in a sense, without you having created that condition. Do you feel you have corners in those terms of your mind you cannot reach, which are forever, in a sense, or at least I'll say presently, inaccessible to you, out of which can come ideas that you are not familiar with?
Do I believe that?
Yes. Why?
I believe there's somehow that I'm creating this, but I'm just not how.
All right, one moment. One moment, that is not what I said.
Okay.
I'm to say that when you have opened yourself up to allow yourself to experience certain energies, but you channel those energies through a belief system which allows for portions of your own internal consciousness that can be hidden, you will cloud your atmosphere, thicken your perceptions, cause a shield form round and about you. Do you follow me? In other words, your guides, in a sense, simply are attempting to tell you that you need not harbor a belief in those dark recesses. You can never be attacked from unsuspecting corners of your consciousness unless you yourself box those corners in and turn out the light.
So therefore you need no protection.
Thank you. The concept of needing protection implies that you believe you will be attacked, and it is your belief that forms your reality. Do you follow me? That is why, similarly, fear that something can happen is the same as believing it will. And why the synthetic emotion you call hope is created because what you really believe in is despair. Thank you. Question.
The medium that you're speaking through, are you using his ability or breadth of knowledge in terms of the English language, or do you have your own knowledge of English language that you use?
Only to some degree. More often than not, will be similar, since we use, as you say, channels in many of your cultures and many different cultures on different worlds to use their own knowledge. Simply, they are, in a sense, allowing themselves to translate concepts which have no language at all.
You're saying the medium is allowed to...
Is allowing us to use them as a translation device.
Did you have a discussion with him
Yes. Both before and during this life. First of all, each individual, I'll say, makes the choice themselves. It is by agreement. Also, many individuals, such as the channel, present here and now, are in your terms, I'll say, direct descendants of our culture. Realize that we can, in no way, shape or form, according to our beliefs, interfere within your society. There is only, in a sense, one way we can affect your society directly. That is by allowing ourselves to be born within a society, physically. But even then, our assistance is always passive.
Does that also mean that we can choose to be born within your society?
Yes.
Is there
Many
a
of...
lot of that goes on? I mean, is
Yes.
it very free
Yes. Many individuals have what I will term to be counterpart lives in other societies at this time.
Going concerned.
Yes. And past and future. Question.
I have a question. I'm a little puzzled over a statement you made that almost 4 years ago, when the nuclear explosions or explosions on Earth could have possibly been, except the mass consciousness decided against it, and if they didn't decide against it...
No, that is not what we said.
Okay, well, anyway, okay, go ahead. What did you say?
We said that as of 4 of your years ago, your mass consciousness had made a decision to not annihilate itself through nuclear war.
Right. Now, if it did decide to annihilate itself, you said that you would step in, which contradicts.
That is the only exception.
And how... Now, what I don't understand about that is, if you create your own reality, right?
Yes.
Everybody creates their own reality. Then you would have had to create the reality of us harming you in a nuclear explosion. So what it would seem contradictory, you would have to step in. If you just didn't create that reality for yourself, you could just ignore us whatever we did.
Yes. But we have chosen to be counterpart civilizations with you. And so we have chosen, in a sense, to be affected. Yes.
And how would you have stepped in?
Your devices will not function.
I can understand that, except for the fact that if you had free will and you decided as a mass consciousness that our devices would function, how could you possibly uncreate what we create?
It is not an uncreation. It is in accordance with your own overall self-soul identity as well.
Yeah.
In other words, to put it very simply, your higher consciousness knows better. And our higher consciousness agrees.
Thank you.
However, you may realize that there have been those distractions, both in a sense, to a degree, on your world before, within your solar system before, and in many other solar systems. It is simply not at this time the chosen reality of this system.
Okay, that's a question. I want to ask you, on your planet as a mass collectivity, what are you trying to... Also, are there guidances like you provide...
You will find that though we will have a differing viewpoint of our relationship to the idea of those guides, that there will be for us within the counterpart triad of your planet, our planet, and the planet orbiting Sirius. For us, that planet will be, in a sense, to a degree, the same viewpoint of advancement over us that we are over you. And they will provide for us a view of ourselves when we will be able to merge with our whole soul identities as they are doing now. We are, in a sense, in the process of exploring our integration within our mental identity as one consciousness. As you are now beginning to understand yourselves physically as one consciousness upon the surface of your planet. In approximately, I will say, 300 of your years, you will, to a degree, be viewing yourselves in the same way we view ourselves now, and you will have relationships with other planets in the same way we have relationship with you now. Thank you. Question?
I have questions on the planet going around Sirius.
Yes.
Can you tell us anything about that?
You will find that they, at this time, explore, as you say, space, totally telepathically, no ships. They will, in a sense, be able to, in your terms, call upon the entire racial identity, if they wish, at any time they wish. They will, in a sense, pass their consciousness through what you term to be the idea of a black hole in order to achieve location and physicalization, in a sense, at any point in the universe. You'll find that they have interacted with your civilization before, and because their society is, in a sense, more, I'll say, fluid in nature in terms of its expression in energy and its manipulation over their physical form, they have been perceived in your terms as amphibious. They are not literally so, but it is close. You will find that you are also the second society upon your world with which they have been in contact, what you term to be the dolphin having been the first. And for some time.
What station are you talking about?
It is on a world which orbits the star you know as Sirius. You will find that their planet will be slightly larger, their atmosphere more dense than yours.
But I mean, I don't understand the relevance of why she brought this particular planet up.
It was mentioned.
What relevance does it have to us over here? Because I don't know.
It is the third part of the triad between your planet, our planet, and their planet.
I mean, are these bad dudes, or are they all right? I mean, you know.
They are quite beneficial and form, in a sense, a big.
Okay, but they're part of something good that's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to know. I didn't have any.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How about the Society of Jupiter?
What society?
Well, I talked to a guy a couple of years ago. His name was Forton. And
realize, first of all, that in your terms, physically, your solar system harbors no other life as you know it. You will find that ideas related to the planet you are familiar with, when they are true contacts, will represent contacts through other dimensionalities. Realize that your solar system, in a sense, has counterpart solar systems in other dimensionalities, upon which certain planets there have life, but not here. You will find, however, that to a great degree, simply, what you will be contacting in that case will be your own projected consciousness as you understand it in terms of the symbol of that planetary identity as it relates to your own growth. You will, in a sense, be speaking to portions of your future identity. Do you follow me? All right. Realize that right now your future self exists and can, in a way, recognize that it can communicate with its past self, which is you.
okay.
Your identification with that energy, symbolized, as you say, astrologically, in terms of the power of your planet of Jupiter, is simply an identification with which you recognize the consciousness, not that it physically stems from that locale. Do you follow me?
Yeah, I do follow that.
You may view it, in a sense, more like an association or organization which represents a particular viewpoint, which you will identify with the symbol of your planet Jupiter.
Okay.
Thank you. Question?
Bashar,
Yes?
is there any validity to the book and the documentary known as Alternative 3?
I will say there will be, at this time, between 40 to 60% validity. There are many, many ideas which were left out, many others which were substituted as per the understanding of the individuals responsible. I will say that to a degree, for the most part, this, I'll say, alteration was not, as you know, to be malicious, simply limitations within viewpoints. Do you follow me?
Not quite.
In other words, there will be 40 to 60% of that information which will be, in your terms, accurately relevant to your reality. The reasons for the remaining percentage, in your terms, not being accurate, will have to do with self-limitation by the individuals responsible for bringing forth the information. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And?
Have they actually put some people on Mars?
Not really. You will find that the idea which is more truly expressed is that there is, in a sense, ongoing contact between civilization and what you term to be the government of your world. There are desires and plans, most of which have not been acted out. Do you follow me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you.
I get the impression that you see us even though the physical eyes are closed. Is that true?
I sense you.
Well, sense meaning some of vibrations.
To a degree.
Sense belief or disbelief?
Yes and no. You will find that everything is a belief. What you term to be disbelief is simply another belief. And in its own reality is quite apropos. Question.
Yes, I have a question. I considered myself to be physically unable to bear a child, so I asked the assistance of a superior being to do so, and thus had my daughter who was with me. I went to another session where a friend of ours who had left his body on Earth and was elsewhere was speaking through a medium through a Ouija board, and I asked him about her history in an attempt to find out how I could be a better mother, given that I was given this help from a superior being and wanted to be worthy of that by assisting her in a way perhaps I might not have known about. He said that it was impossible for this to occur, that all beings here have been here for numerous years and are progressing through lifetimes, and that it was unfair to inflict that viewpoint I had upon him.
All right. Now, while that individual was, in a sense, being, I'll say, a little bit harsh, there is truth to that idea, first of all, by the recognition that you consider that it would take another being with what you consider to be more power to allow you to exist in any way, shape, or form. First of all, recognize that that was simply, in a sense, the way in which your belief system would allow you to recognize your own power to create the situation you wanted, by deferring to the idea of a superior being. you will find that if you continue simply to worry that you are not already by simply continuing as you did when you requested assistance, that you are less than worthy to be a part of the initial creation. That is what that individual was referring to. Simply allow yourself to know that your timing and the timing of the child is exact. You both know exactly what you are doing, and you are exactly the perfect person that child wishes to associate with at this time for the reasons that child has chosen to be. All right.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you. Question.
What do you like? Let's say in your own regular environment on your planet. I guess that would be a regular environment. Is that a correct assumption?
All right.
Okay. What do you like to be called? Do they call you by your first name?
There is no names.
Huh? You told us you had a name.
It is a convenience for you.
Oh. Well, what do they call you?
There are no names.
What do they just say hello there?
In a sense, realize that we recognize each other again by our signature vibration. In other words, we know what we feel like and the differences between us. And we recognize that feeling and know exactly who we are in touch with, whether they are physically present or not.
Do you have a physical body?
Yes.
Like what?
You will find on an average, physically, as we have said, we will be about 5 of your feet in height. We will, as we said, in a sense, seem to appear to be a combination of what you term American Indian and Asian, but only remotely. Our skin, as you say, coloration, will be generally, overall, even whitish gray, as you know it.
And do you touch?
Yes, very often.
How about do you need to touch something to move it? Like we do, we have to pick up things to move it.
For the most part, yes.
Could you move it without touching it if you wanted?
At this time in our civilization, only within certain circumstances. However, I will say that is one of the realizations which within our civilization is becoming a more daily occurrence.
Is it hard to learn?
Nope. You already know everything you need to know. In your terms, it is only a matter of simply becoming aware.
There's no technique to it.
We allow it to occur spontaneously and learn by observing why, within that particular circumstance and aggregate of consciousness, it found the need to be.
And your bodies, are they like meat bodies like ours? Like we have blood and bones?
Yes.
How many people are there on your planet or body?
You will find, in a sense, the surface, as you say, of our world to consist of approximately, I will say, 54 million individuals. Most of the individuals of our civilization exist in what you term to be motherships. However, the surface of our planet is spread out, not densely packed as in your cities. And therefore, we will, in a sense, cover most of the surface available to us, though not in an overpopulated sense. There will be approximately, at any given time, 1/3 to 3 times the same amount within the motherships on various other planets and in various other types of ships. That will be specifically our civilization as you know it.
Why do you live in ships instead of just, buildings on the ground? Will you have more mobility that way?
Simply realize that there are buildings, in a sense, as you say, though very simple in nature. Simply that most of our, in a sense, work is done in what you term to be space.
I got it.
Thank you.
Is there any violence on your planet?
No.
Are there different forms of higher consciousness? Or some individuals?
Each individual within our society is viewed as being completely, potentially equal, and will always exhibit to their own chosen talents what they wish to. It will always be viewed as exactly the same type of consciousness, even though the service being provided will differ from being to being.
You know, on this planet, you know, for instance, some people like to watch a couple of Slavs wrestle on television. You know what I mean? Now, in your planet, how do you get away from the sterility of just kind of like knowing and vibrating and all that?
First of all,
you know what I mean?
by understanding that we do not have a belief that just simply knowing is sterile. We are always finding new creations to explore.
I mean, like helping other planets and stuff like that.
Many, many, many endeavors. Realize that only upon your planet right here are you holding the idea, and yes, on some other planets as well, but you're holding the idea that what you term to be perfection of being is a static state and boring. It is not so.
So what do you do when you're you can have static
something.
state? What do you do?
Name something. Realize we are not static. We are always creating. When you allow yourself to know yourself as a continual creator, you will always have the momentum of creation. There will always be something surprising and new.
All right, that's cool.
Yes?
What I wanted to ask you was, can you, I know you can probably predict the future, right?
Yes and no. There is no future.
I mean, for someone in the room, if they wanted to ask.
Yes and no.
Why you say no?
Because it is up to you to determine what is, in a sense, relevant to your idea of a future. Realize that any, as you say, prediction that is made is a prediction based on simply sensing those ideas which have the most energy behind them at the time the prediction is made. You always have free will to change your mind. Your futures are not always set, as you say.
So you make your own futures?
Always.
Do your children go to school?
In a sense. However, there is no, again, separation of that, as you say, idea from the overall experience of the society. They are not cut off. We recognize that the best, as you say, teacher is experience and involvement with all aspects of a society. Therefore, they learn mostly by actually doing. Question.
May I make a comment?
Always.
Well, the impression that I have is that, you know, in your civilization, I guess culturally, the group, or, you know, there's maybe a mass consciousness over there, like you say, you know, that we have on this planet, and their way of enjoying things are its own development, its own way of enjoying things. And I think that we maybe in our own future, if, as you say, as we created or decided, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way for it to be a progressive and growing state. In other words, somebody 300 years from now could have all kinds of spiritual and you know, abilities and powers, and there could be a tremendous change in civilization, and then the guy can still like watching two Slavs wrestle on television.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just want to be sure.
Do not worry. You can always be exactly the identity you wish to be. The idea of integrating into the mass consciousness exactly oppositely reinforces the idea of your own chosen identity, and vice versa. In other words, the more you allow your own identity to really be, then the easier it will be for the entire identity to form. You do not lose identity when you merge with overall mass identity. Quite the opposite. The stronger each of you are within your own sense of self, the more integrated you become within yourselves, and the more integrated your overall mass identity will be allowed to be. Question.
If we become, I'm sorry, Daniel, I gotta get this one done. If we evolve to the point where we feel that we are as equal as you are, and but we have totally different likes, okay? How is your civilization going to respond to us? You know, suppose,
realize we have totally different likes right now. How are we responding to you right now?
All right.
Because we already consider you to be equal.
Well, I thought you didn't consider us to be
We consider you to be equal. You do not consider yourselves to be equal.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we're having this discussion. I'll tell you, next few weeks I'm going to have a lot of questions. This is getting really interesting. I really like this. I appreciate you being here. I think you're all right. You're right, dude.
We think you are all right as well. As a matter of fact, we think you are quite perfect.
I thought that way about myself, too.
Only your mother will want to go on there.
Well, don't worry, I got a contract down there. No, I'm joking about the contract.
Yeah, I want to ask, on your planet, you beings, do you create and abide by the concept of right and wrong, like we do here?
Once again, when you allow yourself to understand that you are as powerful as you need to be already and can create anything you wish to without the need to violate any other consciousness in the process, there will be no more wrong, because you will never feel the need to be weak enough to need to convince someone else of what you yourself are attempting to convince yourself of. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, thank you. My friend Susie brought me here, and she said that you have friends who come through this channel also?
Yes.
What are their names?
You will find, once again, it is not, as you know it, to be real names. However, there will be, in your turn, my counterpart from the same civilization, female. You will be able to refer to her as Anima. You will find that one of the beings will be, as you say, from that civilization, round and about. What you know to be the star, Sirius. You will refer, in a sense, if you wish, to this being as Chipop.
Thank you. Would Anima consider it rude to ask her to come, or does she choose to come?
She would love it for you to ask her, however, at this time, she is busy. Thank you. You will, if you wish, be able to converse with her in a future time, if you wish. Realize that she considers none of you who wish to share love rude in any way. Thank you. Question.
What, being an artist, maybe you can give me some kind of idea of what our colors are. What colors are on your planet?
Oh, why would we not have all the colors you do?
Well, I don't know. I'm just assuming.
All right.
What colors are they?
What colors do you have?
Oh, red, green, yellow, blue, purple.
Thank you.
Okay.
You will find there will be, I'll say, with the creation of devices which utilize pure light, there will be variations within hue. There will be manifestations of energies which, in a sense, really have no color, yet are still perceivable. You will find there to be, in a sense, as you say, psychic colors or psychic interpretation of colors, which will carry very different feeling from what you term to be everyday physical colors. They will all still derive from the same idea.